Hi everybody, my name is David. I'm a life coach. Thanks for joining me for this video today. This video is about the Cinderella syndrome or complex. Before I get started, I'd appreciate it for all of you to please consider subscribing to my channel right down below. Hit that subscribe button. You can do other things to support what I'm doing here if you think that I'm benefiting you or other people. You can vote up or down right down there, and you can comment down below, ask me questions, things like that. I'll always answer them. You can share this video with other people, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Okay, let's get started. So this video was inspired by Jennifer from the United Kingdom. Hi, Jennifer. And I have a weekly question and answer video for those of you who aren't aware of my channel. And Jennifer asks, are you aware of the term Cinderella syndrome? If so, what is it? And this is something I've heard a long time ago, and when I thought of it, when I used to think of the Cinderella syndrome or women being like Cinderella or idealizing that Cinderella story, I always thought of it as they were kept at home to do nothing but cook and clean, and they wanted to be saved by their prince, right? But Jennifer got me to look into it. So what I found out is there's three major factors to the Cinderella syndrome, and I just couldn't help by looking this up to see how much this looks like borderline personality disorder, or how many people with borderline personality also have Cinderella syndrome. So let's see here. Three major factors. And here, I'm just going to read what it is right here. Cinderella syndrome, also known as Cinderella complex, is a term that was popularized in the 1980s by author Colette Dowling. I recommended a book of hers before. This syndrome refers to people who always avoid life's responsibilities, fear living independently, and subconsciously long for someone to care for. So I've got avoiding responsibility, fear of independence, and someone to care for, right? If you look at, and really this Cinderella syndrome, I think could be caused by neglect, abuse, and trauma. That's very typical. And I'll get to later I'll get to other factors. But that is the borderline. There's environment, there's genetics, there's culture that form who we all are, including people with borderline personality disorder. And I want to add that this disorder, there's a ton of misinformation about this disorder. There's still a lot of confusion. A lot of people have not agreed on exactly what it is, but you've got to look at all three factors. So it's not just a definite, oh, they've been abused. They've been sexually molested as a child. They've been neglected and abused, and mom abandoned them and all this stuff. There is the factor of genetics, of being predisposed to this genetically. So one thing I want to add with this, because the BPDs, people with borderlines that I've known, and I don't know about men, I'm sure I have, but the women that I've known that have borderline, the narrative seems to always be the same. And it's always, I'm being abused, save me. And I just have seen this over and over again. I've dated borderlines, and they always have these like suitors and people ready, hopefully men, if they're women, they have men that are like suitors. They're just waiting there on the back burner to be the next one. And the borderline will always go on and on about how they're being abused and neglected, and the person I'm with is no good to me, and I'm about to leave them. I'll leave them soon. Don't worry. I can't leave them yet because of this, and this, but I'm going to soon, and this just goes on and on and on. And the point of it is to get the attention that I'm being abused. I can't do anything for myself. I can't leave and stop the abuse myself. I need you to save me. And it just goes from man to man to man to man, complete monkey branching. That is the most common thing I've known about borderlines, most common trait. So it's important in the fairy tale, Cinderella, as I'm just going to assume all of you have heard the fairy tale, know of it. But she was raised by step family, her stepmother and two stepsisters. And it's interesting how the author made that so that there's no acceptance. I wrote down here, rejection, no acceptance, total favoritism, total abandonment of emotional needs. no connection, no attachment to the mother, which can be a very, very important element to borderline personality disorder. And then obviously no communication. No communication. She was stuck in the house. All she did was cook, clean, and sew. And she couldn't leave, didn't have any friends. Her only friends were 2 mice. So there's just no communication. She found her worth and identity caring for others, cooking, cleaning, sewing. So this causes identity disturbance. Let's just say it can cause identity disturbance. No self-reliance, meaning no independence, no autonomy, no personal power, no sovereignty. It causes idealization. If I can't do it for myself, then I'm going to idealize what it'll be like when we're teenagers waiting for some job or money to come knock on our door. I'm going to idealize what that's like. A very narcissistic thing to do. Delusions of grandeur, which I can't accomplish something on my own, but it's going to happen just because it's me. A little bit different, but needing to be saved and no love. And then you also have an important factor, and this kind of affects everybody, if not all women in a little bit. As you're growing up, you have that society pressure to find your role. Where do you fit in society? What are you going to be? What are you going to do is the common problem that we pressure children with. What are you going to do? Who are you going to be? And that identity is what I do. And if I can't do for myself, then I need somebody else. I need a prince. So in society's pressure finding a role, but for a very, very long time, still a little bit, right? Women have found their roles, as a wife and a mother and taking care of the house, right? So Cinderella did that. She found her identity in taking care of this house, taking care of others, and that's that longing to care for others, finding my purpose, my need, But it's empty without the prince. Borderline, feelings of emptiness, no sense of self, unstable self, can't find and discover and have her own sense of self. So unstable, causes impulsivity, right? But I have to find my prince, and unless I don't find my prince, I'm nothing. And I've seen women today feel like this. Okay? It's just, my life is nothing unless I have children. I've got to find my husband. I don't know who I am, my worth. My life is meaningless, pointless. Life is running out. It's getting shorter and shorter. I'm getting close to menopause. If I don't have children, I'm nothing. I'm nobody. Things like this. Fears of abandonment. Fears of rejection. The stroke of midnight. What a symbol for it's all going to be over soon. And this fear is caused by trauma. And she had emotional trauma. It just that few little things we know about, stepmom and sisters were mean, but no security, no autonomy, no emotional attention, no privacy, nothing, no emotional needs, all abandoned. And I think that's what that stroke of midnight represents. Like most of us, or all of us watching right now. If we don't have PTSD now, maybe we have. And that trauma, that constant up and down in our whole life always means that it's bad. Bads are coming around the corner. When it's good, that means it's got to be bad. And we're just always expecting the worst. And I call that living in the fear cage. So, 5 ways this may affect you. That might be a lot of the reasons why many of you are watching this video. So let's see here. So I found an article here, and I will put the link in the description box down below for those of you who want to read the rest of the article. And you need to identify whether it is actually affecting you. Answer these questions honestly. Here's 5 questions, okay? Are you always daydreaming about the future? Do you say, oh, everything will be okay when I meet Mr. Right. I'll be happy then. A lot of you can't even be single. A lot of you have had this horrible, abusive, nasty, tumultuous, stressful, traumatic relationship, and it's all about finding the Mr. Right, Mr. Right, Mr. Right, isn't it? And I'm saying that because I'm not calling you guys borderline, but borderlines most likely all have PTSD, which a lot of you may have, or traits of. Very similar, right? Very similar. We can't just point the finger at the borderline. We're kind of close. Number 3, do you feel something is missing from your life? I feel empty inside. Life is pointless, meaningless. Number 4, do you keep putting off working towards specific targets or goals? Do you keep putting off working towards and striving for to accomplish your specific targets or goals? Almost like self-sabotage. Number 5, do you think that having a partner makes you feel more attractive and successful? And boy, is that the borderline. God, the borderline has no real self-identity. They find it through others. My boyfriend is so successful and it makes me feel successful. I am successful. We are successful. I mean, I've had this so much with just toxic women I've dated in my past, that everything I have is ours, and everything I've done is us. We've done that. The bragging, like the parents saying, my child, my perfect GPA child, or my child attends this college, or it's kind of taking that's part of me. I did that. That's me. That's mine. So interesting little questionnaire. It says here, if you've answered yes to 2 or more of these questions, you might be suffering from Cinderella syndrome. But don't panic. According to Allison, there are some ways to change the story so that you can benefit from the character's strength. And there's not a better way to do that than professional help. Let me know what you guys think. Comments, guys, everybody, comments. Read the comments down there. If you like this video, if you like this, what I've said in this subject, go down below and read people's comments. They're great. I appreciate all of you who share your experiences. And let me know what you think. List some other things. I mean, we could go on and on about this, right? There's 8, 9 diagnostic borderline personality traits, and we can talk about the Cinderella syndrome and how it affected all of you, right? I don't think there's one person here that couldn't have answered yes to at least one of these, if not now, then sometime in our life. Okay, thanks guys. Love yourself first. See you again later. Bye.